Come, and I will show you the letters by which heaven and earth were created, the letters by which seas and rivers were created, the letters by which mountains and hills were created, the letters by which trees and grasses were created, the letters by which stars and constellations were created, the letters by which the orb of the moon and the disk of the sun, Orion and the Pleiades, and all the various luminaries of Rakia were created, the letters by which the ministering angels were created, the letters by which the seraphim and the creatures were created, the letters by which the throne of glory and the wheels of the chariot were created, the letters by which the necessities of the world were created, the letters by which wisdom and understanding, knowledge and intelligence, humility and rectitude were created, by which the whole world is sustained. I went with him, and he took me by his hand. He bore me up on his wings, and showed me those letters, engraved with a pen of flame upon the throne of glory, and sparks and lightning shoot from them, and cover all the chambers of Erebot. Come, and I will show you where water is suspended in the height of Rakia, where fire burns in the midst of hail, where lightnings flash in the midst of mountains of snow, where thunders rumble in the highest heights, where flame blazes in the midst of burning fire, where voices can be heard above the thunder and earthquake. I went with him, and taking me by his hand, he bore me up on his wings, and showed me all these things. I saw water suspended in the heights of the heavens of Erebot, through the power of the name Yah, I am that I am, and its fruits were descending from heaven, and watering the surface of the earth, as it is written, From your palace you water the uplands. The earth is full of the fruit of your works. I saw fire, snow, and hailstones, enclosed one within another, without one destroying the other, through the power of the name of a consuming fire, as it is written, For Yahweh your God is a consuming fire. I saw lightnings flashing in the midst of mountains of snow, without being quenched, through the power of the name Yah, Yahweh, the everlasting rock, as it is written, Yah, Yahweh is the everlasting rock. I saw thunders and voices roaring in the midst of flames of fire, without being overwhelmed, through the power of the name of the great Almighty, as it is written, I am God Almighty. I saw flames of fire burning and flaring in the midst of the blazing fire, without being swallowed up, through the power of the name of the hand upon the throne of Yah, as it is written. And he said, A hand upon the throne of Yah. I saw the rivers of fire in the midst of rivers of water, and rivers of water in the midst of rivers of fire. Through the power of the name, he keeps the peace, as it is written, He keeps the peace in his heights. He keeps peace between fire and water, between hail and fire, between wind and cloud, between tremors and comets. Come, and I will show you the souls of the righteous who have already been created and have returned, and the souls of the righteous who have not yet been created. He bore me up with him, and taking me by his hand, he led me to the throne of glory, and showed me those souls which had already been created and have returned, flying above the throne of glory in the presence of the Holy One. Blessed be he. Then I went and expounded this verse, and found with regard to the text, The Spirit shall clothe itself in my presence, and the souls which I have made, that the Spirit shall clothe itself in my presence, refers to the souls of the righteous which have already been created in the storehouse of beings, and have returned to the presence of God. And the souls which I have made refers to the souls of the righteous which have not yet been created in the storehouse. Come, and I will show you where the souls of the wicked stand, and where the souls of the intermediate stand, whether the souls of the intermediate descend, and whither the souls of the wicked descend. He said to me, The souls of the wicked are brought down to Sheol by two angels of destruction, Za'apeel and Samkiel. Samkiel is in charge of the souls of the intermediate to support them and to purify them from sin, through the abundant mercies of the Omnipresent One. Za'apeel is appointed to bring down the souls of the wicked from the presence of the Holy One, blessed be he, from the judgment of the Shekinah to Sheol, to punish them with fire in Gehinnom, with rods of burning coal. I went with him, and taking me by his hand, he bore me up and showed them all to me with his fingers. I saw that their faces looked like human faces, but their bodies were like eagles. Moreover, the faces of the intermediate were a greenish color, on account of their deeds, for they are tainted until purified by their iniquity by fire. And the faces of the wicked souls were as black as the bottom of a pot, because the multitude of their wicked deeds. I saw the souls of the fathers of the world, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the rest of the righteous, who had been raised from their graves and had ascended into heaven. They were praying before the Holy One, blessed be he, and saying in prayer, Lord of the universe, how long will you sit upon your throne as a mourner sits in the days of his mourning, with your right hand behind you, and not redeem your sons and reveal your kingdom in the world? Do you not pity your sons who are enslaved among the nations of the world? Do you not pity your right hand behind you, by which you stretched out and spread the heavens, the earth, and the heaven of heavens? Have you no pity? Then the Holy One, blessed be He, answered each and every one of them, and said, Since these wicked ones have sinned and thus, and have transgressed thus and thus before me, how can I deliver my sons from among the nations of the world, reveal my kingdom in the world before the eyes of the Gentiles, and deliver my great right hand which has been brought low by them? Then Metatron, the servant of Yahweh, called me and said to me,